It seems that even in the modern world, that the weather and the seasons are in a constant battle for supremacy. If you just look outside on a stormy day, I think you will begin to see how the people of old thought both the calm and the tempest were caused by otherworldly forces. One such personification is the great Mither of the Sea. The Mither of the Sea, or Sea-mither, comes from the far north of Scotland, on the island of Orkney, and was said to have granted life to all living things upon the island. The tale of the Sea-mither is thought to be one of the oldest in Orcadian folklore. The Mither of the Sea is a female spirit which would bring warmth to the land and oceans. She was known to reawaken and revitalise the world after the harsh winter months. With her great power, she would bring the harvest season and calm the wild seas. But the Mither of the Sea is only one side of the tale, for she had an oppressive and furious foe. Her mortal nemesis was named Teran, the spirit of winter. Teran brings the darkness and the cold to the island. It is him who causes the sea to rise and crash wildly against the shore. Many sailors were victim to the frenzied storms sent by the spirit. It was said by the islanders that if you listened closely to the harsh winds of winter, you could hear a voice of anger. This was Teran. 2 times a year, these titanic beings would fight for dominance of the island. The first was called Vortelli, or the spring struggle. It occurs around the vernal or spring equinox, when the Mither of the Sea has become fully revitalised, and having reached the peak of her strength, the battle ensues. The seas around the island begin to foam and froth. The crashing waves during the fight make the sea near unpassable for up to a few weeks. Finally, the winter spirit Teran is overcome, and the Mither confines him to the darkest depths of the ocean. This is the same dark prison in which the Sea-mither holds the dreaded demon of the north, the Nuclavee, but that is another tale. During the reign of the Mither, the sea is quelled and warmth returns to the island. From time to time, Teran will try to escape his underwater prison, causing spring and summer storms. But holding a god against its will is not easy. Throughout the months, the Herculean task begins to diminish the Mither's strength. The second conflict begins near the autumnal equinox. This is when the Mither is weakest, and the now rested Teran can break free of his bonds. This time is known as Gorvalet, or the autumn tumult. Besting the weakened Mither, Teran once again rules the land and sea. With him comes the icy darkness. Frost begins to gather on the barren fields. The waves increase in size and ferocity. The dreaded Nuclavee is free to walk the land. But as with all things, this darkness is not eternal. For the Mither rests and becomes strong once more, just in time for the spring struggle to return. This cycle continues to this day. Sometimes the Mither takes longer to recuperate. Other times, Teran is held for longer beneath the sea. But ultimately, spring and summer will make way for autumn and winter. This battle was the method by which the islanders could explain the changing seasons and the effects of the mysterious forces. This same pattern of personifying invisible forces to explain environmental changes is found in many of the old belief systems. For example, Morozko, the Frost King from Russian folklore, or the Greek goddess of spring Persephone. On the origin of this tale, little is known of its creation, but it is thought to be very old indeed. Like most of Orcadian lore, this tale also reflects the influence of Scandinavian mythology on the traditional Celtic folklore. In the Norse religion, many of the gods are personified forces, such as Loki, the god of fire, and Njord, god of the sea. It is thought that this influence can also be seen in the word Teran, which in Orkney means irritable. The word may come from Nordic roots, specifically the word Teran, which means angry or wrathful. On the island of Shetland, north of Orkney, the Mither of the Sea was seen as a protective spirit, which the local fishermen would invoke to keep them safe at sea and to ward off the devil. There are many myths based around the harsh and changing sea that surrounds Orkney. It seems that the islanders began the creation of these myths to explain life cycle changes in nature without the aid of the modern scientific theory. Ernest Marwick, an Orcadian folklore researcher, stated that the tale of the Mither and Teran was one of the purest personifications of nature. So as we near the winter solstice, the height of Teran's reign, let's all hope that the great Mither of the Sea can quickly regain her strength and return to us soon. As an extra, here's an old Orcadian verse that mentions this battle. But luck thee never knew in Vore, can man hear tale of Teran, Rampagan on the ocean floor. For folk here little cairn, tullyas and brullyas, Fowt with thee great Sea-mither, swordship gie lordship, the ane or else the tither. Thank you for listening.